Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to No Name Gaming. Last week, we saw the Online Motorsports Association kick off the Virtual Racing Championship Season 10 at Daytona for an exciting race. Long green flag runs mixed in with an thrilling overtime led to Drew Jua starting his quest for a three-peat championship in Victory Lane. There was a wide mix of strategies, though, as it seemed to come down to a fuel race had there not been a late yellow. Tonight, we head across the country to California and the Virtual Auto Club Speedway for the Hollywood 200. These drivers will certainly be tested tonight on the 2-mile oval to provide several lanes for racing. There's a possibility that we can see drivers go 4 or even 5 wide. The big question about tonight's race is who will be able to hold on to the car, as this racing surface is quite old and can cause severe tire wear, which will cause drivers to have to make mid-run adjustments if they want to be able to have long-run pace. My name is Alex Lane. I'm excited to bring you all of the action tonight in flag-to-flag coverage of the OMA's Virtual Racing Championship Season 10. And there actually, Keith, there is a roval here. Surprise. Maybe a surprise. If you look on the inside, there is an infield road course. It's not like an official roval, though. But yeah, there actually is a road course within this track. It's kind of an interesting one. But let's go take a look over at the schedule for the season so you guys can see what is coming up here for this season. So taking a look, this week we are at Auto Club. Next week we go to Iowa. And then right before we go to the Memorial Day break, we've got a race at Charlotte. And then we go to Watkins Glen. So you can see the whole rundown of the schedule. So quite a while until we head to the playoffs. But taking a look at the driver standings after last week, here is your look at the driver standings. Top 10 get into the playoffs. And Drew Jua, again, he took the win last week. Number 1 in the standings right now, followed by teammate Tim Moore. And then Kevin Yerguez is in 3rd, Eric Connor 4th, Tyler Glass 5th, Kyle England in 6th. You got Runka in 7th, Jonathan Amodio in 8th. You've got James Mendez in 9th, and then Ryan Miniker is the cutoff right now at 10th, and Thomas Green right there on the line as well. You can take a look at the team standings as well. OCM Racing leads that with a 6-point lead over Ohio River Racing. McGuinness Motorsports in 3rd, HTC Racing Team in 4th, Gavin Hudspeth Racing in 5th, Planet Simi Sports in 6th, Vortex Racing in 7th, Mid-State Racing in 8th, All In or Spin Motorsports in 9th, and then Team Miscraft rounds out the field in 10th. So tonight, we're doing a little bit of a different thing here when it comes to qualifying. We are actually doing 1-lap qualifying rather than the regular 2-lap qualifying. So drivers don't quite get a chance to get those tires up to temperature. So we'll see how they fare when it comes to getting these cars really going around the track. You can see a couple of the drivers out now. You can take a look at qualifying lap times as it stands. It looks like actually most of the field that is getting laps in has gotten their laps in. You got Robert Keach here trying to go around the high line for his hot lap. Not going to get a good run off of 2. But going to continue that lap anyway. Again, 1 lap, that's all they get. But coming up to the line, we'll see where that puts him. But taking a look right now, Drew Jua tops the board, and quite a few of these OCM drivers have had some really good luck throughout qualifying. Or not qualifying, throughout practice, throughout the week. Because they've had Tim Moore and Drew Jua both topping in practice earlier this week. But now with qualifying out of the way, let's take a look at your starting lineup here for tonight. And let's see what the grid has. One moment here. Get all of that set up. All right. Your starting lineup here tonight. We've got Drew Jua on pole with a 40.892. Next to him is Jolene Sims. He had a really good Daytona race and just could not get herself up there at the end. But then in the second row, we've got Jared Talmadge and Eric O'Connor. In 5th, Tim Moore and Thomas Green. 7th is JT Sipes. 8th, Jake Cummings. Then to round out the top 10, we've got Austin Mongold and Isaac Shelley. Going outside of the top 10, we've got Tyler McDonald and James Mendez. In 13th, we've got Noah McGalliard. Then in 14th, Fabricio Lamana. Then Cameron Garrison and Gatlin Downey, 17th. Jonathan West, 18th. Ryan Miniker. Rounding out the top 20, Tyler Glass and Jonathan Amodio. 21st, we've got Min Hong. Then the 22nd, you've got Greg Corte, who's making his debut tonight. 23rd is Kevin Urguez, and 24th is Brad Qualls Sr. Then the 25th, we've got Vincent DePizzo. 26th, Jared Newton rounding out the field. We've got 27th, Robert Keach Jr. And then in 28th, Jimmy Amos. So that is your starting lineup here for tonight. And we should be getting ready to go green here in just a few minutes. We're on pit lane. Yep, it doesn't look like we're going to be on pit lane. There we go. Now we've got the pit lane cam up. For some reason, there was a little bit of a struggle bus there. Who's going to win? I don't know. It's going to be a tough call. I mean, Drew Jua last season ended up getting the win here at Auto Club when they were over on NASCAR Heat. So, I mean, he's a favorite here tonight, but like I said there at the start of the broadcast, you've got these guys from OCM Racing doing a very good job. I would not be surprised to see Tim Moore come out with the victory tonight, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. Tire wear is going to be a significant thing on the long runs, but we'll see if we get that opportunity. Bill Reagan says he beat Drew yesterday in VHS, so I doubt it. Ooh, it's going to be interesting. Again, like I said, long run. JK Drew is easy pick. Drew's a very strong competitor. I've raced with him in iRacing before. He's a very strong runner. So we'll see what's going to happen, though. Like I said, it's going to be interesting because you've got opportunities to go 3, 4, even 5 wide. It's a very wide track, lots of lanes to run. And honestly, I mean, everybody has something that suits them differently at this track. For me personally, I like running the middle line. Sometimes the high line if I really want that extra pace, but some guys like to really drive that bottom line. Then you sometimes have to change it up, especially mid-run, because the car just totally changes the way it handles, the way it behaves as we get going later in the run. But enough of me just babbling about how the car handles on long run. Let's get things going. Barney the flagman ready to go. He's got that green flag in hand. And Drew Jua leads the field around for the Hollywood 200. We are green here in California. Good jump here by Drew. Going to try and get ahead of Jolene coming out of turn 2. Going to take that low line. Goes all the way down to the white. He's going to be able to slide up in front of Jolene and pin her there between him and Jarrett Talmadge, and that's going to happen. Yes, indeed. And so Jolene, though, has a good run. Going to look down to the inside of turn number 3. Makes a dive here. But will she be able to get the run off of 4? Because Drew's going to have that high line momentum. Nice thing about the front stretch, though, it is curved. So she's going to be able to run all the way to the bottom. She takes it all the way onto the apron. And so Jolene Sims leads lap 1. A good start here for the front 2. They're running away with it seems like, a little bit, as they're pulling away from Jarrett Talmadge and others behind. Can't quite get up there, tries to pull ahead, but you look behind. It's a bit of a hornet's nest as well. We got Eric O'Connor currently fighting Thomas Green. This is the battle for 5th place. Or, sorry, 6th place. Because right now Tim Moore currently holding 5th place. Good run here by Eric O'Connor on the inside. Not going to be able, though, to really make much progress as Tim drops down to the inside, trying to help out the teammate a little bit. So front 5 starting to single file out a little bit, it looks like. But still, I mean, you see these cars fan out through turns 1 and 2, using every inch of this track that is available. But you'll start to notice there starts to be a trend where these cars start to go. That high line, that run off the corners is so strong and so powerful. But it really comes down to, are you going to be able to make the car stick on the inside if you're going to try and make moves down there? It's a bit of a challenge, especially to get that slider up. There's a car that made a huge dip down. Thankfully, no caution. Everything is all good, but you see things starting to really file out here. Jolene Sims starting to make a little bit of a gap. Trying to see if she can run that high line, that wall, a very fast line as long as you can save those tires. That's going to be the big question is as we go through these long runs. Look a little bit further back in the field. Got Tyler Glass, not the best starting spot for him. He said in the chat that he bumped the wall on qualifying, so that really hindered his lap time. Trying to make his way up through the field right now in 14th, up 5 spots. Currently battling with Gatlin Downey. Looks to go down to the inside, is going to try and make that move. Doesn't get enough of a run on the inside line. Maybe waiting for those tires to still settle in. Gets side by side, going out of 2, but then lose it. Oh, we've got a car on the wall! That would be, I believe that's Noah Galliard. Yeah, Noah Galliard hits the inside barrier, unfortunately. And that is severe damage on that 14 car. And that's going to keep us green, though, as the wreck is far enough off the track. An unfortunate moment there for Galliard. Thankfully, there is a fast repair, so Noah's going to be able to get back on track and get that car going once again. Taking a look here at the number 2 car of Min Hong. Min Hong up 10 spots already here early on in this race. A phenomenal start for his race. The rookie had a really good run last week, running up towards the front for a lot of those longer runs at Daytona, but tonight, really getting to show off some of that skill as he's up from 21st to 11th. Making that high line work really, really well, trying to hunt down the 2 in front of Jake Cummings and James Mendez. But we go back up to the front here. Jolene Sims starting to pull away a little bit more, about a quarter of a second gap here, and it's a bit of a hornet's nest behind. You got Drew Jua, JT Sipes, and Jarrett Talmadge all right next to each other, trying to make some progress. And now you got Thomas Green and Eric O'Connor joining that hunt as well. Let's go on board here. The back of Jolene Sims, you can just see a bit of what she's got to look at in her rearview mirror as she is leading this race. You can see they fan out all throughout that turn. She's got phenomenal pace so far early on, holding on to this lead. A very strong showing early. But will these tires hold up running that high line? Running that high line, you get a lot more heat in the tires, and we've got a caution out. We'll figure out where that is. It looks like Austin Mongold got caught up in that one sideways here on the front stretch. Let's go see what caused that wreck here on lap 8. We've got the 10 here of Mongold. A little loose out of 4. Hits that outside wall pretty hard. Tries to get under control, but unfortunately cannot do that. It's Ryan Miniker, and I believe the 42 there. That'll be the 42 of Robert Keach Jr. as well. And that is just unfortunate there. That's a hard thing to try and do. I mean, sometimes those wrecks, it's pretty hard to keep the car on track. If we take a look back again here, let's go a little bit further. For some reason, do not want to go far enough back here for a rewind. But let's take a look on board here of his car to see what really happened. See what's going on with the wheel. You can see back end just kicks a little loose, tries to manage it, but just can't get enough of it. And nothing you really can do. You're just along for the ride, especially if you break that toe. So an unfortunate incident again. Thankfully, these drivers that got involved in that wreck do have a fast repair. So they will be able to get back out there with a fresh, clean car. It's just unfortunate if you have to use it this early in the race. Taking a look, we've got a few drivers stopping in down pit road. Interesting calls here early in the race, only lap 9. But we've got Drew Jua, Jarrett Talmadge, Thomas Green, Tim Moore, Min Hong, Jake Cummings, Tyler Glass, and actually a whole bunch of them coming on in. The ones staying out are Sims, Sipes, O'Connor, Shelley, Mendez, West, Lamana, and Corte. The rest of the field coming on in, so only 8 cars opting to stay out. I would assume this is just a quick little splash and go to try and make a longer run. Dudrua, though, unfortunately overshooting his pit box. And he's stopping for tires. Interesting. Jarrett Talmadge wins the race off of pit road of those that stopped. Interesting call there for tires coming out from the the 4 car of Drew Jua. And by the way, thank you, Heck Dude, for the subscribe. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, so we are 10 laps in. Some really good racing going on so far. We've got drivers trying to really push the limits. Some of these drivers settling in, but right now, Jolene Sims controlling the field. But with some of these guys coming in, maybe even getting some right side tires or taking off 4s, it's going to be interesting to see how things shake up. Drew actually opting for right sides only. His pit stop was about 10 seconds long, so he took some fuel and right sides, trying to see if he can get that car a little bit faster here as tire wear starts to set in. You relate to not being able to hold the car in traffic. It's tough. I mean, with the car here at Auto Club, it starts off really fast and it's really easy to over push the car. And then as you get into a long run, there's a point where the car is very unsteady. It's about like, I want to say it's like 15, 20 laps in. The car is very unsteady, very unpredictable. And then about another like 10 or 15 laps, around like lap 25, 30 in a run, that's when the car really starts to just come to its own and is very comfortable to drive. But there's a little, like a 10, 15 lap window where the car is just really uncontrollable, especially coming out of turn 4. I'm not sure what it is about turn 4, if it's the banking, if it's the angle, if it's, for me, the way I take the corner. It's a lot harder coming out of turn 4 and keeping that car straight than it is coming out of 2. But I also drive turns 1 and 2 a lot differently than 3 and 4. I mean, what we're seeing some drivers riding that high line like Jolene Sims. We're seeing like Drew Jua, he's riding the bottom. You've got Tim Moore riding those middle lanes. Me personally, I like running like turn 1 and 2. I kind of run like a lane up from the bottom. And then in turns 3 and 4, I take the car all the way to the bottom and then run a wide exit. So it also eats the tire wear there. So it's kind of to each their own. But we're going green here. Jolene Sims in control of the field. So we'll see when she decides to go as we come through to the Geico restart zone. And the green flag is ready to fly. We're going racing again here at Auto Club. A good jump here by Jolene. That outside line checking up. Not a good start there from JT Sipes. Going to give Eric O'Connor an opportunity to try and dive on in and make a push for second place. You've got Sipes trying to make a move further back. We are 4 wide here. Further back in the field, if you take a look, we figured it out, but still 2, 3 wide coming down the backstretch. Absolutely insane to see how this track runs. It's a shame this track is getting turned into a short track in the near future for NASCAR, but honestly, the Gen 7s here have made this track some phenomenal racing. 3 wide here, right in front of Tim Moore. This is the battle for 8th place. And it looks like Jarrett Talmadge is going to be able to figure it out and get ahead of the others. Going to try and stay ahead with Greg Corte. Corte going to stay on the outside here, all the way up by the wall as Talmadge goes to the inside. And it looks like Talmadge is going to be able to pull ahead here. Going to be able to get back to 8th place as he's trying to march forward. You've got Drew Jua. He's sideways. He hits Tyler Glass. That's a big wreck on the backstretch. I'm not sure what had happened there that caused that. A couple guys got turned. Tyler Glass and Drew Jua, the big ones out of that took some damage. But we'll go back and we'll see what exactly happened and caused that caution to come on out. And unfortunately, we're not going back far enough. Apparently, we just don't want to go far enough back to get everything situated. So taking a look at, it looks like a bit of a racing deal there. Min Hong trying to come down a little bit. You got Drew comes up a little too far. We'll go back and see that from a different angle. See if we can see exactly what happened here between the two. But it looks like Drew might have gotten a little loose out of 2 as well. Those right sides being cold while those right sides, as those left sides, I mean, are a little bit warmer. Let's take a look from the blimp angle See Drew coming on down, goes for the late apex, comes out. He has a little wiggle, but it looks like Min Hong comes down a little bit too far, and that causes Drew to get sideways. Although Tyler Glass took the bigger brunt of that hit as he got sent to the outside wall and then got hit by somebody else. So we'll see if these two decide to come in for damage repair. I would assume Drew is going to. Tyler probably has to because that car is probably messed up a good bit. And actually, you got a few guys coming on in. Tim Moore leading the charge down pit road. You also have Gatlin Downey, Jonathan Modio, Tyler McDonald, Ryan Miniker, Jared Newton, Austin Mangold coming back down. Jimmy Amos, and yes, as I said earlier, Tyler Glass coming down pit road. So like last week, we will have stage at what do you mean? Why'd I do what? This has been a phenomenal battle for all over the field, honestly. There's been some really good racing early on. Even on that restart, you see 3-4 wide. That's phenomenal to see. But just like last week, since it's a 100-lap race, we are going to have our stage points awarded at the start of lap 50. So we've got about 35 laps to go here until we get to that point. But like last week, there will not be a caution. So we hit lap 50. We're gonna keep rolling, and then they will go back and award points after the fact. So we'll see how that's gonna fare out at the halfway point. But right now, Jolene Sims still holding on to that lead. JT Sipes was behind her at that time of the caution, so Sipes is in second. We'll see if Sipes is able to get a better start this time than he did on the last restart. Had a little bit of a checkup on the outside. And it looks like we're probably going to get ready to go to one to go this time around. We've had some big shakeups, but right now, taking a look through the field, the highest mover right now is Vincent DePizzo. Vincent DePizzo in the 91 up to 11th place after starting back in 25th. The big movers so far right now. The one that's dropped the most, he was your pole sitter, Drew Jua in the number 4, currently sitting back in 23rd. But after that wreck, I mean, that's going to happen. We'll see how he fares, though. Hopefully that damage isn't too bad. Let's take a look at the car. It looks like he did not opt for the fast repairs. It looks like that right side still has a little bit of damage on the door, nothing severe. There really wasn't anything major on the car to start with. Let's take a look at Tyler Glass. Looks like he might have opted for the fast repair. It's hard to tell from this angle to see if he took that damage fast repair or if he just decided to get it repaired and see how it drives from there. But we'll see. We'll see how those two are able to bounce back. Two strong drivers in the field. They were big finishers last week at Daytona, so we'll see if they're going to be able to have similar result here tonight after that wreck. Jolene Sims this time is opting for the high line, opting for the outside on the restart. She's been pushing on the outside for the turns, so not a surprise to see her take the outside line. Hopefully get a good jump and be able to really get some momentum going through turns 1 and 2. But here we go. Benny the pace car driver is off. We're going through the Geico restart zone. What a attempt at a jump there. I believe that is the 92 of James Mendez, really getting into Isaac Shelley, trying to see if they can keep JT Sipes from holding them up there on that restart. They go side by side into one. It's going to be Sipes with a slight edge, but here comes Jolene Sims. Gets some momentum running all the way up at the wall. We'll see if she's going to be able to make that push, though. As we get to the backstretch, we are 3 wide for the lead. It's going to be Isaac Shelley on the inside. Going to try and make that dive into turn number 3. Is he going to get enough of a push as we have side-by-side Sipes and Sims trying to keep it together? Big, tight racing, 3 wide down the front stretch. It's going to be Shelley pulling ahead a little bit. Here comes Jolene on the outside, gets a slight push, and Jolene manages to lead that lap by maybe a couple thousandths of a second. An intense racing for the lead is now. It's going to be the 79 of Jonathan West getting involved here, trying to see if he can make it 4 wide. Not going to be able to make it stick, though. You've got Isaac Shelley starting to push that inside really nicely. We'll see if he's going to be able to continue that drive on that inside line as he's going to go for the lead yet again. The problem is he hasn't been getting any support on the straights. He had Sipes on the back stretch, but now has to back off a little bit. It looks like Sims in the wall. Going to keep it together. Here comes Sipes, though, going to try and take advantage of it on the outside. We go cross the line, and it's going to be Sipes pulling ahead, going into turn number 1, and my, oh my, we've got quite the race here for the front. We've got 3, almost 4 wide through turn number 1. Down the back stretch, they're 2 by 2 for about 3 rows there after 3rd place. Thomas Green now up to the front, trying to fight James Mendez side by side. Still that battle for the lead going at it. Oh, a little loose there out of Jonathan West. He's going to have to drop back a little bit. Hopefully not going to hinder him too much. Able to stay on that inside line. It's starting to look like we're filing out single file down the straights rather than battling. You see if they can start to pull away a little bit from the rest of the field. 3 wide here for 3rd place just for a moment as Thomas Green comes back in line. Is going to try and see if he can get behind James Mendez, but it looks like Talmadge can again go down that inside line. And he's been doing a really good job of running that inside, and hopefully he's able to save the tires down there as opposed to some of these drivers running the outside line. He goes for the slider and is going to be able to make it stick. What a move. As you see, Mendez is not happy with that. He's pushing him all the way down the straight. He's going to send him down the inside on Sims. And now we've got Talmadge going for 2nd place, maybe even the lead, as he pulls ahead just for a moment on Sipes. A little bit of a wiggle there through turn 1. Going across those seams, that car is not going to be happy throughout the runs. So something to keep an eye on as we go on these longer runs for cars that haven't changed tires yet. Coming across those seams, it gets very hard to control at times, especially now that we're at the point that we've done about 15 laps of green flag racing. Things are going to start to get a little wild when it comes to coming off these exits. And we have quite the battle back here now for the top 10. You've got Tim Moore fighting Jonathan West. There's contact there through 1. They are 3 wide with the 91 as well of Vincent DePizzo. And now Drew Jua getting in there. He's trying to get past. Is not going to get room from his teammate Tim Moore. And so Tim's going to be up into 10th place. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I guess it was just a blink there for a second. But he is battling still for 10th place, trying to see if he can get past Jonathan West. Drew does have the fresher tires, one thing to keep in mind. But also, another driver that we didn't really mention, Kevin Yerguez is up there. He's the number 1. He's moved up 10 spots. He's at the tail end of this pack. He's had some really good pace being able to keep up with these guys. We'll see if he's going to continue that as we go throughout this run. Going a little bit further back in the field here, let's take a look at the battle for 19th. Got on the inside there the 95 of Jake Cummings. Gonna try and see if he can take Fabricio Lamana. Has a good run, but not able to do anything there. We've got Ryan Miniker also back here. Ryan Miniker was involved in that first incident, took some significant damage, but seems to be running all right now at this point, so we'll see if he's going to be able to continue doing that. Hopefully be able to make some progress. He's trying to hunt down the guy in front of Brad Qualls Sr. We'll file back here, so let's move on back up to the front. We've got the battle for the lead. Sipes holding on still. Jolene Sims on his tail. Not able to get enough momentum. It seems like her pace might have dropped off. She's got really good short run pace. Doesn't seem that she has quite the long run pace as maybe some of these other drivers. Gains a couple hundredths of a second through the tri-oval. And is going to try and pull ahead. She will pull ahead here. But is she going to be able to get the car in front of Sipes? He's going to have the run. No, she won't. And that's where the big difference comes on the outside line. You're going to see a lot of these drivers opt for that outside because they can get that momentum. It's good for passing, but it will tear your tires up pretty quick. Got a little bit further back here, we've got Min Hong. He's moved up a lot here now. 15 spots. He's battling for 5th place. The battle for 5th with Eric O'Connor. And actually now the 98 of Isaac Shelley on the inside there. Makes a phenomenal move on the inside. A little bit of a wiggle. But he's going to be able to fall in place. He's going to try, but no. Min Hong has the run. So he's going to continue to try and catch up there with Eric O'Connor. Now the rookie doing a phenomenal job here. Actually, both rookies doing a phenomenal job trying to make runs for the podium. They still have a good bit to go, though. You see, there's a solid gap there of about almost half a second between Thomas Green and Eric O'Connor. But right now, O'Connor doing a great job pulling ahead. Oh, you have tight racing up there for the lead between Sims and Sipes. They're literally up against the wall. And that's going to give an opportunity for Talmadge to try and pull things a little bit closer. Sipes going to dive down the inside line to Sims back where she's been comfortable on that outside. And they are pushing each other so tight. They are racing so aggressively. But it is phenomenal to watch. She tries to come down a little bit. Not going to get any room from Sipes. Has to stay up against the wall. Will she get any sort of momentum here from Thomas Green as Talmadge now catches up? He's going to make the move on the inside. And it looks like Talmadge has been able to save some tire here. And is working that inside line beautifully. Goes for the slider on Sims. Oh, and there's contact between Sims and Green. Gets some sideways. Will they be able to save it? Thomas Green, though, is going to lose it in the infield. He's going to try and hold on from it in the wall. Is going to. No caution as it's way off track. What a race there. What a move there. Be able to save that car. Unfortunate for Thomas Green. And unfortunate for Jolene Sims what had happened. But, oh my gosh, the racing is absolutely incredible. You see Jolene Sims now back to 12th place. But she's able to stay with the front pack at least. Thomas Green, though, unfortunately gets the bad end of that one. He drops back to the end of the lead lap. We'll see if he'll be able to catch back up. And you can just take a look here at the view of what she's got going on in front of her. She's got quite the way to go. Currently sitting about what? Second and a half back from JT Sipes. Oh, we got Mendez falling on back, so she's going to move back into the top 10 at least. Able to make some progress. So James Mendez into pit road. Not sure what for, though. One thing to take a look at, you got Tyler Glass back into the top 10. So after that incident earlier, he finds his way back into this lead pack. He's been following Drew Jua all the way up the field. Drew also making some good progress up to 5th place at this point. And it seems like these guys up front still battling really aggressively, even though we are quite a while into this run. You got Drew diving on that inside, but Tim Moore going 3-4 wide as Tyler Glass almost trying to squeeze a 4 wide opportunity there, but not going to be there. Is Vincent DePizzo on that inside line in front of him. This is the battle for 6th place right now as Isaac Shelley holding on to that. Looks like Vincent DePizzo just doesn't have that momentum on the inside line that some of these other drivers do. Tyler Glass is going to try. Not going to get anything there. A couple drivers getting ready to pit in, it seems like, as James Mendez was the first one to come on in. Guess some of these drivers are already low on fuel or trying to make it to a 2-stop when it comes to tires. We've got a few guys. JT Sipes, one of them, coming down pit road. Eric O'Connor coming as well. Got to make sure you get down to, I believe it is 55 miles an hour. So a big change here, especially coming off of turn number 4. It's very hard to control that car on old tires. You've got Sipes and O'Connor coming down pit road. That currently leaves Garrett Talmadge as your race leader. A little loose coming out of 2. Same with Drew Jua, but they managed to hold it together. So here comes Drew. looking to go down the inside. He's been running that inside really, really well. But Talmadge also been a phenomenal runner of that inside line. You got Isaac Shelley coming down pit road, as well as Vincent DePizzo. And so right now that leaves us our top 5 of Talmadge, Jua, Hong, Moore, and Glass. And they are all by themselves. The next group of cars that have not come in yet, Jonathan West, and you've got Kevin Yerguez. They're a good bit off, about 2 seconds off of Tyler Glass. I'm not sure if it's from pit stops or what had happened, but something caused them to fall off because Jonathan West was running really, really well earlier in this run. Eric O'Connor dives way up the track. Take a look at pit stops here. I mean, we see the Eric O'Connor's pit stop is 15 seconds, so it looks like some of these guys are taking a full service stop, taking tires and fuel, as we see Jonathan West now coming on down. Let's take a look up here now. Still battle for the lead. Jarrett Talmadge starting to pull away, but behind him, you've got Drew Jua, Tim Moore, and Min Hong also going at Tyler Glass, also in that battle. Min Hong in the wall again. And we're starting to see that tire wear starting to really come in effect. Coming off the exits, those cars get really loose as you go longer and longer into the run. If you've not taken any tires at this point, I mean, Drew took red sides earlier. Not sure if he took tires on the pit stop that he had damage as well. But if you haven't taken tires at this stop, we've gone about almost 30 laps of green flag racing. They're going to start to really show their wear at this point. I mean, you see drivers like Jared Talmadge. I mean, he has done a phenomenal job saving. He is running really, really clean up front. Really not having any issues. You see every now and then maybe a slight wiggle, but it's nothing crazy, as he's got himself about a quarter of a second lead over Drew Jua, and it's really been just consistent. I mean, you see Drew driving that inside, but when he dives that inside, that allows Jarrett to get a better run off on exit, because Drew's pushing harder on the inside. It's going to wear more on that right front, trying to get that right front to push down the inside and make it stick. Thankfully, he has teammate Tim Moore behind him to get a little bit of momentum on the straights, but not really going to do too much when you don't have that run off, because Jarrett's been able to, again, you see the gap. It starts to expand there as we get onto the backstretch. Now looking into this mix here, though, we've got Eric O'Connor coming on in. Eric, a lap down, currently in the lucky dog situation, so we'll see if he'll be able to get his lap back. He should be able to on fresh tires. Let's go a little bit further back in the field, though. The battle for 9th place right now, actually 8th place. You got Austin Mangold, who unfortunately was in that first wreck, took some significant damage. Doing a good job here on the recovery drive up to 8th place. He's up there also with the number 9 of Gatlin Downey and the 23 of Tyler McDonald, the Season 1 champion. Tyler McDonald, it's been pretty quiet here so far today, but we'll see if he's going to be able to kick things up here as we get going in the run. But Ryan Miniker starting to fall back, as Mangold doing a phenomenal job just getting back into it. An unfortunate start to the race, but a great bounce back here. He's got some pretty strong pace as well. I mean, last lap he ran a 41.8. That puts him on pace with some of the guys at the front of the field right now. So he's doing a really good job with some long run pace. See if he'll be able to get around the 48 of Ryan Miniker. Miniker going to try and block him down low. Not going to matter, as Mangold's going to take, Mongol, I keep saying that wrong, my apologies. Mongol takes that inside line, and should be able to get it done here through turns 1 and 2. We'll see if he's going to get the run off on exit, though, as the 91 Jonathan West now gets into the mix. He is on fresh tires, and oh, Mongol catches the apron. So he has to give that spot back to Ryan Miniker. He's going to try it again here through turns 3 and 4 possibly, but has a long way to go this time, as that gap now up to 0.2 of a second. We'll have to take a little bit of time to set that up once more. Should be able to get it done, though, as we come down the front stretch. He's got a good run. Looks to the inside. Will he be able to make that move through turn 1? He's been doing a really good job with that push through turn 1. Has some really good momentum. Miniker tries to go low, tries to force him to make a move, and it's going to be at least an opportunity here. Can he get the run through turn 2? No, he gets loose again. You just can't get that car to stick. Unfortunate for Mongold. He's been doing such a good job of getting some pace. Just not having the luck getting that car to stick the way that he wants. Minhong now into pit road. We see the rookie number 2 stopping down for his first green flag stop on lap 40. And just a reminder, we've got lap 50. Start of lap 50 is whenever we take our stage points. There will be no caution. We go straight through. But that is coming up very, very quickly. Back to the front of the field, Jarrett Talmadge starting to really separate himself from those behind him. He's got himself a half-second lead over Jua, Moore, and Glass at this point. And it seems like Drew Jua just doing his best to hold off teammate Tim Moore, but it almost seems like they're working together because you got Tim Moore. He is right on the bumper of Jua. Anytime we see them come down straight, you've got them nose to butt. They're just right there pushing each other. JT Sipes going to go around. He will get his lap back. And now comes the question, yes, you can make it on fuel probably to lap 50, but how much is going to hinder you in the long run? Those that short pitted are going to have some good pace early, and they're going to make up a lot of time on these drivers that have stayed out. I mean, you take a look. We have the first group of pits were lap 30, 31, 32, 29, and right now it's lap 41. These guys haven't stopped. For Jared Talmadge, it was lap 9 was when he came in, and he just took fuel only. If you take a look, Jua, he was lap 14. Tim Moore, no tires, lap 14. Glass, lap 14. He took, it looks like a full set, a full service. But Jake Cummings as well, also lap 14. So a lot of these guys have not taken tires. They've just taken fuel. So these tires are now about 35 or so laps old. As opposed to drivers who, yes, they came in, but they are on fresh sets. You got JT Sipes, who made his way all the way around the leaders already. Got his lap back. Eric O'Connor, one of those as well, got his lap back. You've got Jared Talmadge coming into pit road. That is going to leave the 4 of Drew Juba in the lead with Tim Moore behind him. Thomas Green also stopping into pit road. But right now, I mean, it's been a pretty strong run for Jua. Way to bounce back after that rough start. Getting involved in that second caution of the race. We'll see if they're going to stop in. It sounds like more drivers coming on in. It's not going to be Drew and Tim, at least. They're going to keep pulling out. It seems like they might try and push this to lap 50. It is Tyler Glass actually coming in. So taking a look after that pit stop, Talmadge dropped all the way to 13th. That finds him at the tail end of the lead lap right now. And you can see he's actually going to get lapped by Jua and Moore. So, if you think about it, going in for full service at this point puts you a whole lap down from where you were at. So, if you're looking at Drew and Tim, I mean, if they can manage to hold out, it's great for them. They get those stage points. But at the same time, if you come down, you're going to find yourselves maybe a couple seconds behind Jared Talmadge at this point. So it's really come down to a strategy game. Do you go for the points? Do you go for the fuel and try and set yourself up for a longer run later? It's been phenomenal green flag racing here tonight, though, as these guys have been able to keep everything really, really clean aside from those couple wrecks. It's been phenomenal racing. Right now, though, the other group that hasn't come in, we take a little bit further back here. Third place, Austin Mongold and Tyler McDonald. They've been holding out here, trying not to come in, but we'll see if they're going to be coming down pit road here soon. It sounds like over the radio that we are going to see Tyler McDonald come down pit road. Tim Moore stays out. Looks like he's going to try and lead a lap as Drew Jua comes down pit lane. And as Tim comes on the radio, he says he will be coming down this time by. So it was a strategy move so he could get the points for lap led. Here comes Mongold. Here comes McDonald. And so now it's just about the entire field. Yeah, that will be the entire field after Tim Moore comes down as taken their pit stop. So taking a look here, we've got Eric O'Connor. He currently is the provisional race leader pending where Tim Moore comes out, what he decides to do on his pit strategy. But Jua is getting his service now as well. So we've got this battle between Shelly, Sims, and O'Connor is going to be the supposed battle for the lead. As ooh, Shelly gets a huge run into turn 1, almost gets into the back of Eric O'Connor. But the rookie Eric O'Connor going to try and hold on here against Isaac Shelly. Shelly looking to the inside for a second, decides against it. Keep riding that outside line. Now these drivers, they pitted on laps 31, 32, and 30 respectively as you look at them in racing order. And Sims, she's trying different lines. I mean, we saw her throughout the run earlier that she was running that outside line really, really consistently and really, really well. But now you see her looking inside. She's looking middle. So it's interesting to see. She's made that adjustment, I guess, trying to see what works on the long run. And she was finding some drivers running that inside line throughout the long run, making that work. Ooh, that is a car in the wall there. Looks like that is the 13 or 25. It is, I'm sorry, the 13 of Brad Qualls. My apologies. Brad Qualls Sr. getting into the wall there, unfortunately. But battle for the lead still on. Isaac Shelly, Jolene Sims, Eric O'Connor, neck and neck. And it looks like Shelly's starting to pull away a little bit. Can he continue to do that? As we close in on lap 50, stage coming up very, very soon. Eric O'Connor up against the wall, running that, taking that high line to a whole new level. That's like Darlington level high line. Jolene Sims about a quarter of a second back here, trying to see if she can catch up with Isaac Shelly. Dives down to the inside, but just has not been able to find the pace that she had on that outside line. She gets a great run. It's going to come even up. But then he gets that run on the outside as she's going to be able to stick with him a little bit. Dives down to the inside. She made that work earlier against him. As she goes to the inside again. Is she going to look for it? Nope. Looks like she's going to stay the outside as we've got one more lap until we get to stage. And so it's going to be Isaac Shelly. He's going to get about a 2/10 lead here going onto the backstretch. Right now, 1, 2, 3, Shelly, Sims, O'Connor. Will this hold, though, as Sims going to make a move to the inside, looking for the stage win. She makes a huge dive. She's going to pull ahead by a couple hundredths of a second. But then you see Shelly gets that run on the outside, and it's not going to be enough for Jolene Sims. Isaac Shelly is going to take the stage. But we're going to remain green. So looking as we hit the halfway point, let's go through the field here and give you guys a look at the running order at stage. We've got Isaac Shelly in first. Eric O'Connor now in second place. Jolene Sims is in third. A little bit further back in the field, running kind of by himself right now. JT Sipes, he is in fourth. And then Jarrett Talmadge back in fifth. So you can see just how that strategy plays out, that short pit. They came in about 10 laps earlier than Jarrett Talmadge, and they found themselves 4.5 seconds ahead. So that's a huge thing for those drivers up front. Going further back in the field, we've got Min Hong, then James Mendez, Jonathan West, Cameron Garrison, and Vincent DePizzo round out your top 10 in 11th. Tim Moore, then you've got Drew Jua, Kevin Yerguez in 13th, Thomas Green back in 15th. Got Gatlin Downey in 15th, Austin Mongold in 16th, Tyler McDonald back in 17th, Greg Corte back in 18th in his season debut, Brian Miniker in 19th, and then Jared Newton rounds out the top 10. He is the first car a lap down. He's currently in Lucky Dog position. Jimmy Amos in 21st. Tyler Glass finds himself a lap down in 22nd. Brad Qualls Sr. in 23rd. Noah McGalliard in 24th. Jake Cummings in 25th. Fabricio Lamana, Robert Keach, and Jonathan Amodio round out the field. Back up here at the front, Isaac Shelly's been able to hold on, and now it looks like Jolene Sims losing a little bit of pace here. Not sure if she's trying to save or if she is just dropping off a little bit. But we saw her running really, really well earlier. Connor, though, trying to see if he can close up that gap, as Isaac Shelly's been a strong front runner here in this race. Going a little bit further back here, though, Tim Moore, Cameron Garrison battling it out for ninth place. Tim Moore on the outside line has those fresher tires. He's going to be able to make that stick really, really well. Phenomenal run is now Tim Moore trying to see if he can take on Jonathan West. Actually got a couple drivers up here that he's going to be able to try and make moves on. Another one would be James Mendez a little bit further up the road. But with Tyler Glass in the mix, got his teammate there. He's going to maybe be able to get some pull from him. Hopefully get some momentum into the corners and down the straights. Gets around Jonathan West, no problem. And now he's going to look to dive down the inside on Mendez. Mendez on about 14 lap-old tires. This should be pretty easy work here for Tim Moore. And just like that, Tim Moore finds himself up 2 more spots. Back up to 7th place. And he actually leaves teammate Drew Jua way behind. Drew back in 12th. So not sure what happened with Drew there. But Tim Moore is really finding that pace here on those fresher tires. But he's still got a long way to go. He is 8 seconds behind the race leaders. While we have a moment here in the action, I just want to remind you guys that on Friday nights, you can tune in to more OMA action. You can check out the online touring championship for road courses far and wide. You can check that out over on the NASCAR Heat and the Virtual Heat Series for Season 9. And the doubleheader starts every Friday night, 6:45 p.m. Make sure you check out the OMA Twitter for all of that. And over the OMA Twitter, it's OMA_league. For the Online Motorsports Association. We post all sorts of things with streams, exclusive content, latest news, and more. So make sure you go check them out. So looking up here in now third place, Talmadge and Sims actually make a switch. So Jarrett has found his way back up to the front, has made some great progress. Again, his tires much fresher than those up here. He's got 10 lap fresher tires, but it seems like that threshold starting to slowly creep in now as he is on lap 10 of his tires. But that last lap was about 0.8 of a lap faster than these two in front. So he quickly closes in on Eric O'Connor. Is going to see where he can make that move. O'Connor blocks the inside. Is going to look to maybe go down the inside lane. Actually works out really well as Newton is going to take that outside, cause a little bit of a blockade here for Talmadge, but it's going to be no problem for Jared as he goes outside of Eric O'Connor. Now looks to take the lead as he's got Isaac Shelley in front of him. Gonna make the move to the inside possibly. Yes, he does, and he's gonna try and make that dive. He's gonna go down the inside all the way down to the inside seam. Not driving all the way to the apron, a little bit different than what he normally does, but in that turn, it makes almost a half-second swing, and just like that, we see Isaac Shelley take the lead. You can see real quick, we'll take a look here at the lap times between these two drivers, between Talmadge and Shelley. You can just see how much time Jared Talmadge has gained each lap, gaining about 3/4 of a second. Phenomenal pace from Jared on these fresh tires, and we'll see if he's going to be able to continue that run here. He does on that last lap, even with the pass. But Jarrett, looking like that long run pace, maybe the good move, but you take a little bit look further back in the field. We look back at Tim Moore, went longer on that run, stopped on lap 46, and he still has quite a while to go. Still 4.5 seconds off from the leaders. He's going to look on the inside there of lap car, but still has about another, we'll say about a half second till he gets to JT Sipes. Back here, we've got the battle for 9th place. Cameron Garrison and Vincent DePizzo going at it. DePizzo tries to look for some draft here, seeing if he can close in on Garrison. Gonna look to the outside line. Has a good run on the outside. Can he make it stick on Garrison, though? Garrison gets a little bit of that extra momentum on the inside, but now DePizzo has a good pace on the outside on the exit. Can he make a move to the inside possibly, or is he going to continue to look to the outside line? He looks to the inside, gets that nose down there, runs it all the way to the apron, gets the slide. Can he make it stick, though? Garrison's going to go for the switchback. And, oh, that is in the wall. And that's James Mendez. Mendez gets contact. That will bring out the caution. Mendez gets a very slight touch to the inside wall. But man, that was really tight racing between those two. Unfortunately, James Mendez just a casualty there in that one, gets caught up in it. Thankfully, a car doesn't take too much damage, though. Stays together pretty well. So now here comes the question. Who all comes down to pit road? I would assume just about everybody. And it'll be pretty close on fuel. We'll go green with about 30, let's say 36, 37 laps left in the race. So it's going to be close on who can make it, who's not going to be able to. By the way, thank you for the bits, Royale. And oh, thank you, Royale, for the gifted sub. Greatly appreciate it. Goes to NASCAR. So we're about 2/3 of the race through. We've only had 3 cautions. I mean, the racing has been absolutely phenomenal from the entire field here tonight. And if you take a look all the way through, we've got 18 cars still on the lead lap. JT Sipes, last one on the lead lap. Him and Jolene Sims came down right before that caution. So they find themselves, they're actually going to be the first ones up at the front of the field. So that might work to their advantage. We've seen those two running up front for quite a bit of the race. I mean, the other front runners, you've got like Jared Talmadge, you've got Isaac Shelley. We're going to see Talmadge come down pit road. Jared Talmadge going to lead the charge down pit road as we have 16 cars coming down. I would assume at least 16. I would assume Sipes, not Sipes, I would assume, yeah, Sipes and Sims stay out here. We'll see how everyone does on pit road. Who's going to come out in 3rd place? Talmadge hits his box really, really nicely. He overshoots his box again. He did that earlier in the race. He's not having luck on pit road for him. And the race off. It's going to be pretty tight between Isaac Shelley and Jared Talmadge. Talmadge wins it off. Shelley 2nd. And Min Hong is going to be 3rd. There's some really close racing there off of pit road. While we have a break, just want to remind you that today's coverage is brought to you by Motorsports Today. One of the long-standing members of the OMA, Eddie Collig, breaks down all the latest news in any form of racing. If it's got 4 wheels and an engine, he's bringing it to you. You can listen every Friday from noon to 1 p.m. Eastern over on WRSU.org, or you can find archived episodes over on Spotify by searching Motorsports Today. Taking a look, it looks like Jared, sorry, not Jared Newton, that's going to be the 95 of Jake Cummings opting for the wave around. But we'll see. It sounds like over the radio there's a little bit of confusion on what's going on here. We'll have to see, though. He should get the wave around once we get 1 to green. Yeah, it looks like there he goes. He's going to get that wave around, so Jake Cummings gets a lap back there. So taking a look at the starting field, starting grid now for this 3rd caution. We've got Sims, Sipes, Talmadge, Shelley, and Hong running out your top 5. Hong, the biggest mover so far, with 16 positions gained. Been doing a really good job working his way through the field. Right now, the biggest dropper is going to be Jake Cummings, unfortunately back to 25th. He's lost 17 spots throughout the race. How about when we go green this time around, we crank it up? Yes, it is casting today, Alpha. We've got the OMA Virtual Racing Championship. We had them last week on stream at Daytona, and phenomenal racing at Daytona, and they're just showing an even better race here tonight at Auto Club. I'm going to shut the mic off here for a couple laps here as we get ready to go green, and we'll hear the sights and sounds of Auto Club. Back up at the front, we've got Jolene Sims pulling away. She's got almost a half-second lead over Jared Talmadge. Hopefully you guys enjoy the crank it up sections. It's something I really enjoy doing there. But as we look throughout this field, I mean, you saw some guys really getting loose, having some trouble controlling the car, and those cold tires, it makes it tough if you're not ready for it, especially when it's in the pack. I mean, when we did the green flag runs, you saw how spread out the field was. And so once you get everything packed back together, you got that dirty air, the car will run tight. You got, I mean, sometimes you get air shoves, you get all sorts of different things going on. If you go in between a car slipstream in the turns, it causes it to act a little weird, a little funky. So we saw a wide mix of cars getting loose, some cars getting very tight, all sorts of things. We even heard when we were on board with Kevin Arguelles, you could hear he was trying to really push the car, but at the same time had to do a lot of throttle control to keep the car from riding up to the outside wall on the exit of turn 4. But so far, you take a look throughout the top 10, we've got Sims, Talmadge, O'Connor, Shelley Moore, Green, DePizzo, Hong, Juba, and Garrison. So now DePizzo up 18 spots. He's been doing a phenomenal job running throughout this race, trying to see if he can push up a little bit further, try and make his way to that top 5. There is a gap between Thomas Green and him to get there. We got a great battle there going on for 7th place between Hong and DePizzo. Hong's had some really good pace, especially on the long run. We've seen him really come alive when we get these longer green flag runs. So we'll see if he's just holding back a little bit before he tries to really make a move on DePizzo, or if he's going to continue to try and make that push. Going for that inside line to DePizzo on the outside, and we've seen early on that inside line looks pretty good. As we get further in the run, that inside line, we see drivers really have trouble with it because those exits, because that car runs so wide, it gets really, really loose. Looking a little bit further ahead in the field, you got Talmadge and Shelley and O'Connor all fighting it out for second place. This is quite the battle going on, as you're going to have Garrett Talmadge dive all the way to the inside, hopefully get that extra little track advantage, as well as some draft from Jolene Sims. But you can see all 4 or 5 of these guys running that outside line, getting really aggressive. And oh my gosh, you see Min Hong, not sure where he came from, found a lot of pace all of a sudden in just a matter of about 2 laps. He ran about 3/10 faster than any of these drivers up here in this front 6. As he tries to close in that gap, Isaac Shelley on the outside now. It seems like everybody else choosing to go down low. Maybe looking to save those tires, hopefully making a run to the end. But like I said earlier, it's going to be tight seeing if the fuel run is going to make it all the way through 40 laps. Quite the stretch to make it, as we saw drivers stopping earlier in 30 laps. Oh, Eric O'Connor almost sideways, able to save it. Yes, he does. Oh, man, that was getting sketchy there for a moment for Eric O'Connor. Min Hong's going to get out of the way, trying to stay up with all these other drivers. And now you see DePizzo also trying to get into the mix. He's about 3/10 back, trying to make his way. Thomas Green side by side with Tim Moore. And Min Hong's going to dive down to the inside, give a little bit of that boost to Thomas Green. Honestly, if you're Min Hong right now, you want to try and let these guys battle it out. Let them wear out their tires. He's going to dive to the inside instead. He's going to go for it. Goes for the slider. Manages to get in front of the 2 of them. 2 for 1 through turns 1 and 2. What a phenomenal move by Min Hong. That gets him up now into 4th place, past the top 5. What a move there by Min Hong. As the battle for the front continues to go on, let's go a little bit further back in the field here, looking at Jonathan West and Cameron Garrison. The battle for 10th place right now. You've got Drew Jula right in front of them as well. I'm not sure what happened with Drew. His pace was so good earlier in the race, and it just seems like it's dropped off here as we've gone longer and longer into this race. It doesn't seem like there's damage on the car, just not running the same way that it was earlier on. Unfortunate for him, but right now still finding himself in 9th place. He's in a good position. You've got Jonathan West, though, making his way around Cameron Garrison. A good move there by the 79. Now going to look to make his way around the back-to-back champion and the right now sole winner of the season at Daytona. And that inside line, though, doesn't quite have that pace compared to Drew. It was, as we've seen from Drew, Drew's able to really send it on the inside line on the entry. It's the exit where he doesn't quite have that pace. You see Jonathan able to stick with him all the way through the entry. Good run here. He's going to stick right there with him. So we'll see if he's going to try and make that move into turns 3 and 4 on the inside, or if he's going to maybe just stick to the outside line or continue to just ride behind Drew. He looks to the inside. He's going to go down low. Runs it all the way to the apron, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, maybe it will be. Because Drew just doesn't get a great run off there. They're going to be side by side. Coming along to the line. Drew just a slight edge, but now here comes Jonathan on the inside line. Should be able to get ahead here. As long as he can get a solid exit, he will have that position. That would be 10th place. Sorry, 9th place. Drew! Ooh! Their contact. Looks like maybe a little bit of contact, or maybe it was just Jonathan getting loose there. But they exchange position again. They're just going back and forth here a little bit further back in the field. Keep looking back here. Battle for 15th right now between Gatlin Downey in the 37 and Ryan Miniker. So right now Ryan Miniker trying to make his way around a lap car of the 13 and Brad Qualls. Trying to find his way back into the top 15. The unfortunate thing right now for Miniker is he's not really able to maximize the track because of the fact that he's got a car on the outside. Seems like that pace on the inside line not being very kind to him as he drops back a little bit, as he's got Kevin Arguelles now looking to try and make a move on the outside line. But he's got a little while to go as he's got McGalliard and Amodio around Miniker. He's got a little bit of space there before Arguelles can catch up to him. A little bit further up the field, Tyler McDonald makes his way around. I believe it was Cameron Garrison to get him back into 11th, and now the battle for the lead is really raging on as Jolene Sims has now lost that gap that she had, and that outside line, I guess, has not been very kind to her. She's been doing a really good job of leading throughout this race, but when we get into the longer runs, it's just not there for her. Jarrett Talmadge finds his way to the front yet again. Thomas Green trying to make his way around Jolene. You got Min Hong also working his way. A little loose there on exit for both drivers. Maybe some contact as Jolene, you see a really big wiggle. Tim Moore going to push her down the front stretch. He looks to stick on that outside line. You got Isaac Shelley looking to the outside as well, looking for the lead against Jared Talmadge, but Talmadge is going to slide up, and Thomas Green actually works to pin Jared Talmadge on that outside line. Side by side as we come down the backstretch into turn number 3. And when these guys are together for the front, it is some intense racing. As we've seen a lot of, I mean, honestly, it's come down to who's more comfortable where. Some drivers really push that inside really, really well. We've seen Jared Talmadge, he's really been putting on a clinic on that inside line. And then Isaac Shelley's been doing a really good job running that outside line. You see him every time manage to get a lot of time gained on that outside line. But the problem is, as you run that outside more and more, those outside tires, those right side tires, are going to get hotter and hotter, causing them to wear faster. So that's going to result in a loss of pace to go throughout the run. I mean, that last lap, he was faster than Jared Talmadge. Not much, but just a little bit. But we'll see if that's going to hold up into the wall. He goes. James Mendez is going to have to go through the middle of the track between him and Thomas Green. Still, they are side by side as we come down the front stretch once more. Let's go hop on board here. We'll go look at the view from the number 69 of Tim Moore. You can just see how close this battle is as Shelley makes contact with Min Hong. That's going to allow Tim Moore to get past Min Hong. And Shelley really starting to struggle a little bit on that outside line, it seems like, as it keeps getting a little loose on the exits. He got into the wall on the exit of 4 last lap. Is going to stay off the wall this time, but seems like he's slipping just a little bit. Will that be enough for Tim Moore to make his way up and try and jump onto the podium? Talmadge still holding on to that lead. And oh, it looks like Jolene Sims coming out of pit road. She's coming down. She's splitting this final green flag stint in half. We'll see if that's going to play out for her. We saw earlier on in this race that the short pit was the strategy. We'll see if that's going to work out. She's the first one to come in on the short pit. Eric O'Connor, Jared Newton also in on short pits. If any of these front runners decide to stop on in, it seems like they're going to keep going. Green means go as they continue to head on down. And honestly, I would not be surprised to see some of these OCM drivers like Tim Moore try and stay out all the way. They tried to stay as long as they could on the green flag runs earlier in the race to try and make it to stage, but it ended up kicking them in the end because they lost a lot of ground. And now at this point, it's almost like you have to commit. Do you go or no? That's kind of where we're at this point. Min Hong, though, still struggling a little bit on exits. You saw him get into Isaac Shelley yet again. How many more times can you get into somebody before it just really causes them to want to just send you? I mean, seems like every other lap now, Min Hong has been getting at least some sort of door-to-door contact with Isaac Shelley. And it's not on purpose, it's just tight racing. But it comes to a point that it slows you down if you're Isaac Shelley. But it seems like his pace has just really fallen off here, unfortunately. Has just continually dropped further and further back now, finding himself in 5th place. A wide mix of strategies here as we also have Tyler McDonald and Vincent DePizzo coming down pit road. Going to see some of these drivers taking tires. Actually, all these drivers taking tires. DePizzo took 4 sets. Got Tyler McDonald taking a full set. Even those that came in earlier, Eric O'Connor and Jolene Sims, they took full service. So A lot of these drivers taking all 4 tires. See how it's going to play out for them as we get longer and longer into this race. Some of these drivers staying out. Isaac Shelley coming on the radio saying he will be coming down this time. Is Talmadge going to follow suit? Min Hong pushing Tim Moore real hard here. No, Jared Talmadge is going to stay out. Min Hong will be coming in down pit road. And now that list of drivers that are staying out getting smaller and smaller. Let's go a little bit further back. See some tight action between the 37 and the 48. And the 1 as well as Kevin Urguez into this mix. This is currently the battle for 7th. Actually, now the battle for 5th. But these guys have not stopped for fuel and tires yet. You're now 15 to go. So we'll see. Is it to the point that when you come down, you just take fuel only? How much is that going to hurt you? It really comes down to the strategy call at this point to see who's going to make that move. Who's going to bite first if you're one of these drivers trying to hold on. And is fuel going to be the right move? It's really unsure what's happening with those calls. I mean, you have Tim Moore coming down pit road now. Jared Talmadge said he's coming down next time by. We'll see if they take fuel only or if they take full service. The guys that just recently came down on lap 85, they went full service. They took all 4 tires and a full tank of fuel. We'll see what Tim Moore does as he comes down pit road, as well as Jarrett Talmadge. Right now, Jarrett holds a 7-second lead over Jonathan West, but we'll see where he comes out after the pit stops. Again, Eric O'Connor, the first one to come down. Or sorry, Jolene Sims is the first one to come on down, but Eric O'Connor is the first one on fresh tires. So we'll see where that plays everybody out. But now you see the 48 of Ryan Miniker finds his way around the 37 of Gallon Downey. And now he's going to try and hunt down Urguez. Kevin Urguez not going to have anything there for Ryan Miniker. What a move by Ryan. But also, you take a look at the 1. He does have some damage on that right front side. So I don't know if that's from a wreck or hitting the wall. That right side damage definitely going to slow him down a little bit and cause some wear on that right front a little bit more. If we take a look here back at Tim Moore, he did take full service. So everybody that's coming down pit road taking all 4 tires and fuel. But these guys up here at the front still have yet to come down. Kevin Urguez will be making his stop. Right now, your race leader, number 10 of Austin Mongold. What is his plan? Is he planning to drive this as long as he can and just come in for a splash? Or is he trying to make sure that he can run this as far as he can? And right now, his lap time's a little bit slower than Ryan Miniker and some of the others that have stayed out. But we'll have to wait and see. He currently holds a 28-second gap over Eric O'Connor. Comes off turn number 4. He's got Jonathan Amodio trying to find his way around him. Honestly, if you are Mongold at this point, I mean, you got 11 laps to go. Try and save as best you can if you have enough in the tank, but that's the question. I mean, how much do you save earlier in the race to try and make it to this point? We go back to Eric O'Connor. He's currently the provisional race leader, depending on what these race strategies are up ahead. He's got himself all by himself. Sims is behind him, but about 2 seconds behind. And the next battle that we've got on track is actually between Min Hong and Thomas Green. And you've got Isaac Shelley right behind. So these 3 were racing really tight earlier on. They were going neck and neck. And they're back at it again with 11 to go. Trying to hunt down the number 6 of Jolene Sims. Last lap, we're about 2 tenths faster than her, and they're less than a second away, so they're slowly closing in. They did stop 5 laps after she did, so they do have 5 laps fresher tires. Min Hong leads this charge, though. But the problem is they still have to catch up to Eric O'Connor, who currently is running very similar lap times to these guys back here. The last lap, we take a look. Min Hong ran a 40.55. Eric O'Connor ran a 40.6. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong numbers again. That would be a problem. So actually, Min Hong was about 4 tenths a lap faster, than Eric O'Connor. Eric O'Connor ran a 41 flat, and Hong ran a 40.58. He continues that pace. He should be able to close in on Eric O'Connor before the end of this race, but he still has to catch Jolene Sims, and a caution is out. That's going to change this entire race. Let's go see what brought this caution out. Seems like Jimmy Amos got some sort of incident here. Coming off a pit road. Not sure what happened there. Car just snapped to the outside wall, and that was that. So with all that being said, I mean, all the strategy just goes out the window, and guess what? Here's your real winners out of that battle. Austin Mongold, Brian Miniker, Gatlin Downey, and Greg Corte. They stayed out. They found themselves in the top 4. Now, the question is, I mean, it depends on how many sets of tires you have in the pits. If you're one of those guys that came in a little bit earlier, like Eric O'Connor, Jolene Sims, Min Hong, do you come in again? Or do you decide to stay out and just run it from here? I believe these drivers should still have another set in the pits, but we'll kind of have to wait and see. So here come the top 4. They do have to come down. But we'll see if we have Eric O'Connor and the others come down. O'Connor does opt to calm down. It looks like Jolene Sims coming down. Min Hong opts to stay out. Interesting. Same with Jarrett Talmadge. Vincent DePizzo. Tyler McDonald stays out. So a wide mix of strategy here. They're good on fuel because they took full service. They're going to be able to make fuel even if there is at least a couple green-white checkers at this point. But the tires are what's going to be interesting. So we'll have to see what is going to play out here, as we're going to have a wide range of drivers either on 4 fresh tires or, like we just saw from Jolene Sims, just right sides only. Thomas Green came in. He took 4 right side tires. Eric O'Connor, Isaac Shelley, Tim Moore, and it looks like the rest of the drivers that came down pit road took full tires. And Drew Jua, he's just not having himself a night. Not sure what happened with the car. Looks like it spun around a little bit, but we're all good. No damage. The car is all good. Currently, your race leader, the rookie Min Hong. He's got Jarrett Talmadge behind him with Vincent DePizzo, Tyler McDonald, and Jonathan West. So the top 5 opted to stay out here. Some of them on older tires than others. I mean, we are on lap 93, so you take a look at the pit stops here. Vincent DePizzo and Tyler McDonald are on 10-lap old tires. Min Hong on, looks like 7-lap old tires, and Jared Talmadge and Jonathan West are on, it looks like 6 or 7-lap old tires. So we'll have to see how things play out. The older tires aren't terribly old, but how are they going to fare against the fresh rubber behind them? We currently have 16 drivers on the lead lap. And it's going to be tight racing here to the end. We're going to go green with 5 to go. Put your predictions in the chat. Who do you think is going to come out with this race victory? Will it be Min Hong? Will it be Jarrett Talmadge? Could we see a surprise like Season 1 champion Tyler McDonald? He's been silently running through the middle of the field all race. Will he be able to get his win? Or will it be one of the people who's been up front all race long like Jolene Sims or Eric O'Connor? But here we go. Coming around for the green flag. What could be the last time. We'll see, though. Benny, the pace car driver, is going to be bringing it off into pit road. Barney, the flagman, is ready. The field is in the hands of rookie Min Hong. Oh, never mind. False start. We're going to try that again here in a moment. Unfortunately, I had to do a delay. And so we will go around the horn again. But while we have a moment, just want to remind you that the OMA is sponsored by FRG Designs. If you see some of the paint schemes out here that you are interested in, from paint schemes, graphics, to anything in between, you can go check out FRG Designs, the official graphic designer of the Online Motorsports Association. Well, Benny, the pace car driver, didn't get too much of a break there. You see him already coming back around, coming on for one lap. We'll go green this time around. We'll see if we'll be able to do it this time. This is going to be quite the thrilling finish. Now 4 laps to go when we go. Morales says Kevin will pull through. Kevin got the support and motivation he needs. We'll see if Kevin will be able to get it done. Currently sitting back in 16th, so has a lot of moves to make, but you never know. We could have wrecks happen. So, Min Hong, gonna try this again here. Bring the field to green. So let's try this again. Here we go. Barney the flagman's got the green flag out. Benny the pace car driver brings it down pit road. Min Hong through the Geico restart zone. And we are green flag racing at Auto Club. 4 to go. Who's going to be able to pull this victory out? We've got old tires versus new tires up at the front of the field. Your front 5 are all on old sets. Not terribly old. They're about 10 laps old. But we'll see if they're going to be able to hold on. You've got the 79 of Jonathan West. Makes a huge dive to the bottom. Min Hong got a great jump. And there's one loose. It's going to be Isaac Cho. Tim Moore gets turned as well. It's going to keep green. Oh, there's the caution. All right. I was wondering when that was going to come out, because it started on the track and then worked its way back up. So Tim Moore caught up in that one. The number 10 of Austin Mongold. James Mendez finds himself caught up in another wreck. It looks like Eric O'Connor as well got caught in that one. A lot of the OCM drivers involved in that wreck. Let's go back and see what caused that whole incident to come out. So, oh my goodness. I'm going to have to do something about this. For some reason, it just does not want to work properly and send us to where we want to go. Let's take a look at the blimp view so we can get an overhead, and we're going to slow things down. So we have the 10 of Mongold get a little loose, comes down into the 74 of Eric O'Connor. Shelley got loose into Garrison. Tim Moore got loose up into the 39 of Corte. There's a wide range of incidents that got involved there. A lot of those guys wrecking off track, thankfully. Ryan Miniker, though, he's been doing a phenomenal job with his recovery drive, gets hit there by the 10 of Mongold. Unfortunate for him, and Qualls gets into that as well. Big hit on Eric O'Connor. But like we've said, some of these guys still have their fast repair. They should be able to bring it back out with a fresh, clean car. We'll kind of see how some of these guys deal with the damage. But we're going to head to overtime for the second time this season. So back-to-back races. We're going to go for green, white, checkers. Holy cow. That lucky dog was zooming around. But we're going to do green, white, checkers. And like last week, like we said, it's going to be unlimited green, white, checkered. So we're going to go until we can get a finish. Now, unlike in real life NASCAR, if we take the green, or take the white, my apologies, if there's a wreck on the last lap, does not matter. You race to the checkered. There is not going to be a freeze the field. It is going to be go until you get to the end. Last week, we had a wreck at Daytona. Still kept rolling. Had a phenomenal finish. So we'll see how tonight's going to fare. If we're going to have a similar result. If we're going to have a caution to bring out another green-white checkered. If we're going to take the white. If we're going to have a wreck on the white. Who knows what's going to happen. It's going to be intense regardless. Keith is saying he wants to see Jolene Sims in victory lane. And he's also calling for 3 green-white checkers. We're going to see what's going to happen. If we're going to get first one and done. We'll have to see. Couple guys still in pit road. Tyler Glass, Jimmy Amos in pit road. We should be able to go 1 to green this time around. Yep, lights are off, so we're going to double up. Taking a look here through your field right now, we've got 15 cars now on the lead lap. Min Hong is going to lead us to green. Garrett Talmadge is in second. Vincent DePizzo in third. Tyler McDonald fourth. Jonathan West fifth. So the top 5 on older tires still leading this field. Then on the new tires, we've got Jolene Sims in 6th. Thomas Creed in 7th. Greg Corte in 8th. Drew Jua up to 9th. And it looks like Kevin Yerguez in 10th. That rounds out your top 10. Actually, I think it's Cameron Garrison. I think, yeah, the outside line just lagging behind a little bit. So sorry, Cameron Garrison is going to round out the top 10 once he gets up there. Phenomenal racing all night long. Only 5 cautions for these 100 laps, and for Auto Club, that is absolutely amazing. These cars are not easy to drive around here. These drivers have done a phenomenal job, especially with how tight the racing has been for these long runs. Here we go. We get ready to go green. Min Hong is ready to roll. See how he's going to jump here on the Geico restart zone, or is he going to wait, trying to see if he can trip up Jarrett Talmadge? But Benny, the pace car driver, makes that hard left, and here we go, getting ready to go green flag racing in overtime. Through the Geico restart zone, Min Hong is off, and here we go. First, green-white checkered here. Can we get it done here on the first one? Min Hong gets a phenomenal jump. Jarrett Talmadge back in second with Tyler McDonald right behind him. Jonathan West gets a huge run, almost gets into Talmadge, and it's Min Hong with a huge lead. Look out, Jolene Sims on the outside line. 4 wide, and it's Garrison is sideways. Is he going to be able to hold on to it, though? We've got another one. Eric O'Connor is sideways coming off the track. We've got a big wreck in the middle of the field. It's going to be Brad Qualls trying to hold on, and Kevin Yerguez. And that is going to be a caution coming out of turn 2. So we're going to stack it up and try it again. We'll take a look here again and try and see what happened there to cause that one to come out. Back it up a little bit here from where we were, because I saw Garrison coming sideways off of 2. Comes down in front of O'Connor, gives him some room. They got a little bit sideways, and there was really nothing Eric O'Connor could have done. Just had to go for it. But then I want to see what happened up there that caused O'Connor to get involved, because things were pretty smooth from there. Let's see here. They're 4 wide. Oh, yeah. Contact with, I believe that's the 39. Yeah, the 39 of Greg Corte. And gets caught up with that one. Let's take a look. Let's go back to the live action. We're going to be ready to go green flag here, possibly next time by. Looks like they're getting ready to rack it up. Taking a look, a little bit of a shakeup now throughout the top 10 then because of that wreck. We had a couple drivers drop out. Some of the changes, we see Jolene Sims up to 4th place now. Drew Drew is up to 6th. Thomas Green is up to 7th. Tyler McDonald dropped back to 8th place on that restart. Tim Moore is in 9th, and Isaac Shelley rounds out the top 10 now. We still have a couple drivers in pit road, Miniger, Glass, and Corte. But depending on how things play out, we will have 15 drivers on the lead lap. What's the longest OT I've been a part of? The longest I've been a part of, because of just how most leagues do. Most leagues only do 3. I've done all 3 several times. But we'll kind of see. I mean, right now, this is green, white checker number 2. We're gonna see how we do. If we're gonna be able to get it done on overtime attempt 2, or if we're gonna need a 3rd attempt. The way we've been racing, I mean, that's the thing about Auto Club. You go in turn 1, you can run 4 or 5 lanes, and that's where the issue has been. We see these guys going 3, 4 wide into turn 1, and you just run out of space, or somebody pushes too hard and the car gets loose or the car gets tight, and that's what causes things to really get tight, or cause drivers to get into each other. So make sure next week, tune in same time, same place, because we are going to be heading to some short track racing in the state of Iowa. We'll head to the about 8/10 mile oval of Iowa Speedway, and that's a very interesting oval for these cars. There's a couple bumps in the road that can cause these cars to really have some trouble. But it's a very, very fun track, some really intense racing. Once you start to figure it out. And it's also another one that, very similar to Auto Club, has some multiple lanes in racing. You can take, like, for example, turns 3 and 4, you can take about 2 or 3 different lines. Through 3 and 4, turn 1, you can take a couple different lines. So it creates some really exciting racing. So we'll see what it's going to happen next week as we head to our first short track of the season. We're getting ready to take the green flag. And Hong trying to keep those tires nice and warm. Him swerving, as well as Jonathan West further back in the field. Tyler Glass, last one on the lead lap at this point. Currently in 15th. The 15 cars on the lead lap. Can we get to the white flag this time around? And Hong getting ready to take us to the green flag. Catching back up to the pace car. Here we go. He's gotten 2 really good jumps. He's going to be able to get another one here on this restart. Jared Talmadge has just been a little behind the 8 ball. Will Jolene Sims maybe give him a push? Here we go. Getting ready to go through the Geico restart zone. The field is in the hands of Min Hong yet again. Good jump from Jared Talmadge on the outside. Min Hong's going to try and pull ahead. Should be able to get a car length ahead so he can get all the way to the wall and maximize the speed into turn number 1. Jared Talmadge in 2nd place. And, oh, Jolene Sims comes down on the 91. And that's going to be the 79 sideways. We didn't even make it to turn 2. And we have a caution. Oh, big hit there from Miniker. And Jonathan West, after he's been running so well all race long, takes a massive hit. You can see that nose is pushed way in. And that will cause significant damage for him. Hopefully he still has that fast repair to be able to come down pit road, just quickly get that fixed and get back out there. And now we go on to the 3rd green, white checkered attempt. We'll have our 3rd overtime attempt. And hey, thank you so much, by the way, Royale, for the sub, the gifted sub. Greatly appreciate it. And Noah Races says, if I didn't spin off the start, would be in a good spot. Anyways, good learning experience. Yeah, that's always hard when you get those restarts and it's cold tires. They're hard. I mean, it happens. Cold tires, old tires, it happens nonetheless. Right now, I mean, we take a look here. Let's go to some race info here. Let's take a quick peek here at how things have looked in the past. So last season, Drew over on NASCAR Heat took the victory. He won in season 9. So he actually had back-to-back wins, it looks like, between Auto Club and Daytona. But right now, if things hold the way they are with Min Hong in first, we will have a new race winner for the Hollywood 200. We could also see Jolene Sims, currently back in fourth, find her way up to the front, or even drivers say as Thomas Green. Thomas Green has not won here as well, so we'll kind of see how things go here in the final few laps, or what could be the final few laps. We'll have to see if we can keep from getting another caution. The last time we saw Jarrett Talmadge get a pretty good jump there into turn number 1 on the restart, but the problem was Min Hong he's able to get that inside line, and it's able to drive all the way to the bottom of the track and gain a couple hundredths there. We're going to see what happens here on the restart, but it sounds like, from what we're hearing over the radio, there might be an EOL given to one of the drivers up here at the front. We'll see what's going to happen. It looks like the 6 of Jolene Sims is going to be receiving an EOL for being the cause of that incident. So that's a big shakeup here at the front. She had some great pace. She's been really good on the short run and has been able to really run that outside line to perfection. That now puts her at the back of the field. That's going to drop her all the way to, I believe, 15th, maybe 16th. But that moves Tyler McDonald back up to 4th. It moves Thomas Green up to 5th. A couple of these guys who have been running up at the front, who have had really, really good short pace, gives them an opportunity to really make a move here for the win. Drew Jua also finds himself back up here. Each restart, he's moved up a little bit, inch by inch. Eventually is gonna get his way there. So we'll see what he's got in store for the rookie, Min Hong. We're getting ready to take the green for the 3rd time. Take a look at some of these cars that have been involved in some of the incidents. Looks like they've gotten all the damage repaired, or just about all of it. Some of them taking their fast repair, like Jonathan West, unless they just pulled out some miracle and were able to pull that nose out of the car. And it looks like Eric O'Connor also got himself a nice clean ride here. So we'll see if we can get it done here on the 3rd overtime attempt. And Min Hong get another beautiful jump over Jarrett Talmadge. And what does Drew Jua have in store for these two drivers up front? Sending the pace car drivers off. Here we go into the Geico restart zone. And Min Hong is going to take the green flag yet again. Good jump with Jarrett Talmadge. Jarrett is side by side as we go through the front stretch, and it's going to be into turn 1, side by side. They are door to door. 3 wide back for 5th place. Thomas Green looks down to the inside, is not going to be able to get a big enough run, but that's going to make a very tight situation for Drew Jua. Jarrett Talmadge on the outside line. He's into the wall. Jua is sideways. Drew's going to be able to save that, but it's going to be Min Hong ahead of the field so far. Jarrett Talmadge is going to try and make a move, but he's not going to be able to get that run on the outside line thanks to Min Hong coming up there and making him stop. It's going to be Jarrett Talmadge trying to make a move now into the wall. He's going to try and run that high line with Thomas Green. It's going to be Min Hong taking the white flag. No, we get the caution right at the line. Oh, we almost took the white instead. We'll rack it up for a 4th attempt. Now, it looks like Cameron Garrison, Eric O'Connor involved on that one. Let's go back, figure out what had happened between Eric O'Connor. Yeah, O'Connor just went a little wide. He ran it too wide. Garrison was up there, nowhere for him to go. That brings out the caution just as we were closing in on the line. And man, that was a good run too for Min Hong. He had a phenomenal gap over Jared Talmadge. Just, oh, that if you're Min Hong, you were looking just inches away from an opportunity to try and take the win, but unfortunately it was for naught. Who's going to come down pit road? Same with Corte. Possibly not going to be able to make it on fuel. We have a couple others coming down. Jolene Sims. Garrison and O'Connor coming down, probably for damage, I would assume. I jinxed it. Yeah, we've only had 5 cautions. I know. It was so clean, and now I jinxed it. I should have known better. I shouldn't have said something. That was my mistake, guys. I apologize. But hey, it's still, I mean, it's been intense. I mean, that was phenomenal racing up to the yellow there. These guys up front have been doing a great job all race long. We'll see if they're going to continue to bring that heat. I mean, you've got Min Hong. He's been doing a phenomenal job with these older tires, being able to keep these guys behind him. You've got Tim Moore. He's been working his way up the field slowly now. Isaac Shelley's been working his way back up. Another driver that we haven't really said anything about. The 8 of Tyler Glass. Tyler Glass has like sneaked his way up the field here. He's been silently moving up. Really hasn't been making big moves. He's just been driving nice and consistent. Staying out of trouble now at this point. So he's currently up to 6th place after what was a rough start for him. I mean, he got involved in a couple wrecks. Has been in pit road a couple times. But now finds himself in a good position to try and make moves for what could be a win, depending on how things play out, if he's got that pace. But here we go. It looks like we're going to be going 1 to green this time around. Yes, it will be 1 to green this time around. The lights are off on the pace car. And so taking a look through the field, I mean, we've got a wide range of drivers up here up at the front now as it's been all shook up. Jolene Sims found her way to the back due to an EOL. You've got Drew Jua who just came into pit road. But taking a look at things, depending on how this restart goes, there's my pick to see how things go. If Jared Talmadge can keep a good run like he did on that last restart, don't be surprised if he comes out ahead of Min Hong when we take that checkered flag. We'll have to see, though. Min Hong has been running really well, really consistent, has had really good pace on that inside line. We'll see how things are going to play out as we get ready to go green for possibly the last time. After some of those wrecks, we still have 16 cars on the lead lap. How many of those further back, though, are kind of limping their way along? We'll have to wait and see. But we are ready to take the green flag. Min Hong is going to lead the field to the restart. Yet again, can he get a better jump than last time? Jared Talmadge just seemed to figure out his strategy. Here we go, pulling into the Geico restart zone. And Thomas Green gives him a little nudge, and they're off there. What a start there by Min Hong. He gets a phenomenal move, and Thomas Green clears Jared Talmadge. Now Isaac Shelley gets in the mix, and this could be huge for Min Hong as he's been fighting Jared Talmadge for these past several restarts, and he's going to be able to pull ahead. Can Thomas Green get some momentum on that high line, though? He got a good run. It's not going to be enough, really, to pull him up. Jared Talmadge is going to have to give him a shove. Only gains maybe hundredths of a second. Only a few, though. Now it's going to be Thomas Green trying to fight on that inside line. Good pace here from Min Hong. He's going to pull away even further. Min Hong coming up to the white flag. It is out and waving. They're going to take the white flag. Here we go. It is going to the finish. This race is official. Here we go into turn number 1. Min Hong has a 2/10 lead. Can he hold on as Thomas Green going to run the higher line, try and do that late apex. Going to try and see if he can carry some momentum on the exit. Is it going to be enough to catch Min Hong? The rookie has himself about a quarter of a second lead. He's weaving down the backstretch, trying to break the toe. Going into turn number 3, still has 2/10 of a lead. He's got a phenomenal run. Thomas Green, he's going to send it into turn 3. Is it going to be enough? He's not going to be able to get a run off. He's got some pace, but it's not enough. Runs tight on exit. And it's going to be Min Hong, the rookie, a new winner here at Auto Club. He takes his first victory in the Virtual Racing Championship. It took us 4 tries, but we finally got to the checkered flag. Phenomenal racing here from all these drivers. Min Hong had unmatched pace there at the end. Great race from Min Hong. Great race from all these other drivers, but he just had something else at the end that nobody seemed to be able to match. And so he's going to find himself his first victory in the Online Motorsports Virtual Racing Championship. And what a way to start off the season. Wasn't the best finish at Daytona. Got caught in some trouble, but here at Auto Club just shows how talented he truly is. So as we have the results all ready to go, let's take a look at how everybody finished here tonight. And Hong, your race winner by about 0.2 of a second over Thomas Green. Tim Moore rounds out the podium. And then we have Isaac Shelley in 4th. Jared Talmadge rounds out your top 5. Jonathan West in 6th. Ryan Miniker in 7th. Jolene Sims in 8th. Drew Jua in 9th. Tyler McDonald rounds out the top 10. Going outside of the top 10, we've got Greg Corte in 11th. Cameron Garrison in 12th. Vincent DePizzo in 13th. Tyler Glass 14th. Eric O'Connor 15th. And rounding out the lead lap cars is Kevin Yerguez. Jake Cummings in 17th. Gatlin Downey in 18th. In 19th, we have James Mendez. Rounding out the top 20 is Brad Qualls. Then we have 21st, Jimmy Amos. 22nd, Jonathan Amodio. 23rd, Noah Galliard. 24th, Austin Mongold. 25th, Jared Newton. 26th, JT Sipes. 27th, Fabricio Lamana. And rounding out the field in 28 is Robert Keach Jr. So with all that being said, let's get in our race winner. Let's get Min Hong in here. Let's give me one moment here to find him here on Discord. Oh, maybe he is he on Discord? Give me a moment here. My apologies. There he is. All right, let's get Min Hong in here. And we have race winner Min Hong in the booth with us. Min Hong, congratulations on being the first ever independent driver to win in the VRZ. How's it feel, man?
It feels pretty good. I mean, Daytona's a little rough, but I think that since everyone here is like pretty new, I figured that since I've been on the service a little longer, I might know a few tricks, and really it paid off because we got the win.
Yeah, Daytona was a little rough where you got caught up in some incidents, but you really showed some phenomenal pace here tonight. So earlier in the race, it seemed like you were kind of like hanging out in the middle, trying to like save a little bit. What was your strategy for those longer runs?
So on the longer run, I figured that maybe the Highline would be pay off more, but I realized that the dirty air was like really bad and it was like really hard to pass. So I figured, okay, I'll just chip at it like a little slower at a time, and then maybe as the run goes on, that's when I can actually use my pace. But then we had all those cautions, and it was just a game of track position, and then at the end there it was just restart games, I guess. But I mean, I was just trying to stay up front and had a few code browns there, I think, but it worked out in the end, so it's okay.
Now I think it was the last caution as we're coming up to the line. We have the white, it's out waving, and it comes out with a caution. What was going through your head at that moment? Because it seemed like you were like locked in. You had a very strong lead over Jarrett, and then just right as you were ready to take that white flag, that caution comes out.
Yeah, I actually slammed my desk there. That was kind of frustrating. Like I mean, like it was 3 restarts in a row. It was just like I played it all perfect. Like I knew I had to get it one more time, but I mean, that was a real I don't know, it's a moment, but it worked out.
All right. Well, is there anybody you want to thank or anything else you would like to say before you head on out and celebrate your victory for tonight?
I don't know, man. I think we're just gonna go next week and go get us another one. It's Iowa. It's a new track. I don't know if we're gonna do well, but it's worth it.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Iowa always produces some very interesting racing, that's for sure. All right, well, thank you, Min, for joining us. Congratulations on that win, and go celebrate that victory.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna pull in our second place driver here of Thomas Green. Well, actually, hold on. Let's see if we can find Thomas Green here in Discord. Doesn't seem like he is in a voice chat. So for right now, let's pull in our third place finisher, Tim Moore. And Tim, welcome back to the booth. Tonight, find yourself in third place. So does that mean next week we're gonna find you in first?
I can hope that's the case, but I think my bad luck may have come because the only reason why I say that, Alex, is because in the VHS race yesterday, I kind of won. So I guess we're kind of going in order of third, second, first, and so on. I hope that's to be the case, but we've been fast. I'm real proud of this team, and man, I will we'll talk after the race in terms of the admins of what's going to go on in regards to certain incidents that happened there towards the end of that race. But we did a good job, getting through the track position. I ran out of talent there on that last pit stop when everyone kind of wrecked towards the end of that race. And we were able to just kind of on those little bit worn out tires to just start progressing ourselves after we utilized the fast repair. And man, I mean, I'm real proud of this group. But man, I want to win next week, but man, I'm not really good at short tracks at Iowa, so we'll see what happens. I'm just looking to keep the consistency and try to control points lead. I didn't get halfway points today, which stinks as well. But the fact that we were able to put ourselves into a position, I can't be upset with the podium for the second straight week.
Yeah, hey, podium is definitely a good thing, even though you didn't get those stage points. So going back to the stage points, though, what was your guys' strategy between you and Drew? You guys were holding out pretty much longer than anybody else before stage. Were you trying to see if you could stretch that fuel, or were you guys trying to see if you could stretch to where you only needed to take a splash and go later on in the race?
So you're talking about before the end of the halfway, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, when the scenario came out, is I believe with around I think it was lap 12, 13, wherever it was where the caution came out. Um, I felt that we could two stop it, whereas some guys had to three stop it. For example, Eric O'Connor, who was our other car, he didn't pit from the initial green flag, so it kept him and 8, 9 other cars on a different strategy. I'm be honest with you. I mean, while I had better long run tires to start catching Jarrett, I don't think I would have caught him. He was really good in the pits, and he played the strategy just right, pitting 4 laps before me. That I think he did a good job. And to be honest with you, I really do think he should have been the true winner of this race if certain things didn't happen. If that makes sense, not the end of the race. The end of the race is the end of the race. That's chaos, and congratulations to Minhang on his win. He earned that, especially being close on fuel there at the end. But in terms of the full race, perspective, I feel that Jarrett really had that in his hands, and unfortunately, a caution dictated all that, and it kind of flipped itself around too, Alex, where you saw Eric O'Connor take control on a pit strategy. He found himself well in good position with like 10 laps to go, and just unfortunately, somebody wrecking out of the pits, changed that whole race and really created chaos at the end. But that was the strategy with it. And at the end of the day, we played a good enough strategy that would have put us in second. Like I said, I wouldn't have caught Jarrett, but to win these races are not going to be easy. And I got to do a lot better of a job, being consistent on pits, especially if I'm going to want to win these races. So I look forward to Iowa next week. It's going to be a challenge, but man, I don't know what to expect in Iowa because there's going to be some bumping, some banging, and then on this lower fuel, it's going to be tight. So I don't know where I'm going to want to be on the racetrack, but that's what practice is for.
Well, we even saw some of that tonight, some beating and banging going on. I mean, that's the one thing about Auto Club, especially with these Gen 7 cars. You see these cars, they very easily can go 3, 4, even 5 wide at times, depending on where you're at on this track. So we saw plenty of that throughout the race, some guys getting loose, some guys getting tight. But overall, it was phenomenal racing, especially from you guys with the OCM racing team. But before you head on out, Tim, tonight, anybody else you want to shout out, thank, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, well, first off, I want to thank you being in the booth for us here because now it's a full-time thing. Obviously, we're gonna have you all season long, and I'm really happy with this group. And listen, again, I know the end of the race was chaos. A couple things happened. For the record, I don't want to be like I'm not cursing, but there's how do I put it? There was no term I like to use, kind of like pushing around and measuring. If you get what I'm saying in regards to these guys. I think everybody's having fun to open up. I know a lot of guys are a little bit frustrated with how the end of the race turned out, but again, that's unfortunately the card that was put in everybody's hand, and it created other chaos. But these first two races have been absolutely wonderful, and I'm thankful that we have the opportunity to have you cover it, but as well as everyone behind. We also added, I just want to give one more shout out as well. We added Tyler Glass to the mod team the other day. Glad to have him a part as well to join us, along with Kevin, Jonathan Amodio, Drew, and myself and Ryan Miniker. So I feel like we have a real good group, a real strong representation, and I'm glad to see some old heads back in here. As like to say, guys like Thomas Green that was in the mix there at the end, along with Jarrett, who, man, to me, it just still stings. He hasn't won since season 5, and that's a top 5 driver. If you saw on Twitter, at least, we had the NASCAR or the OMA greatest 5, and he was, the last guy on that list. Not in any order, of course, but the last guy, to be announced, and it just stings because he earned, in my opinion, what should have been a victory for him today, and it just didn't work out. But on Iowa, and again, I'm just thankful to be here, and I'm thankful for everybody.
All right, well, thank you so much, Tim, for joining me up here in the booth, and congratulations on 3rd place, and we'll see if we can see that number 69 machine in Victory Lane next week. We'll see.
Yeah, it needs to be Mazzilli made eventually. We're going to work on that scheme, by the way. The scheme's going to get a little bit better as the year goes on. That's actually because I'll say this here. Luca Mazzilli, of course, the person who's on the car, his dad is trying to make a die cast of the car. So we're going to try to work on it a little bit more. Yeah, so we're going to try to make it a little bit professional thing, a little bit more further. Of course, what you see on the car is kind of good, but we're going to make it stronger. That was kind of an hour-and-a-half project, but it'll be with us for the rest of the season.
That's phenomenal. I look forward to seeing it get better and better each week.
I appreciate that.
All right. Well, thanks, Tim, for joining me up here in the booth. It's always good talking to you.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All right. So, with all that being said, again, next week we are going to be heading to the Iowa Speedway. So it's going to be some really exciting action. I mean, this week was phenomenal. We had a mix of strategy with tight racing. I mean, you had drivers that were good short run, long run. The car changed dynamically across the race, so there's some really awesome racing here at Auto Club, and it really is a shame to see that NASCAR is going to be changing it into a 2-mile, from the 2-mile intermediate speedway that it is down to a short track. Hopefully they make it a good short track and not something that is just a mess, but we'll have to see. A lot of us racing fans have our own opinions about what NASCAR is doing with the short track scene and with this in particular, and what they're doing with the LA Coliseum next season for a proposed exhibition race, all that kind of stuff. But beside the point, next week we head to Iowa, the about 0.8 mile short track, and it's going to be a different mix here because we've seen Super Speedway, we saw some intermediate racing here tonight, and now we're going to see some not super short, but it's going to be some tight racing with the short track. I mean, especially when you put 25 to 30 cars on track, it's going to be really interesting to see how everybody mixes in, because some drivers, like you heard Tim, he's not a strong short track driver. You saw his talent really come out here at this track, especially on those longer runs. However, you have some guys who really shine in those short tracks, especially a track like Iowa where it's a momentum track, and you really just have to build your pace, get comfortable with where you're on a track, and you're racing the track more than you're racing other drivers. But we'll kind of have to see how things play out next week. But I want to take a moment to thank all of you for joining us here at No Name Gaming for the Online Motorsports Association Virtual Racing Championship Hollywood 200. Congratulations again to Min Heng for taking the win in tonight's race. His first win as an independent driver in the VRC. Be sure to join us next Saturday as we head off to Iowa, like I said, for some short track racing. And we hope you enjoyed all of the broadcasts tonight, all our flag to flag coverage. I want to thank OMA for allowing me to bring all of this race to you, all of the races this season to you. And like I said earlier, my name is Alex Light, and saying good night to you from the virtual Auto Club Speedway. Thank you again for tuning in.